Good morning to Keep the Faith with Pastor Frank. I know I'm a little bit late, but I got it going, so I'm going to go ahead and do my. If you join me, let me say hi to you, and hope you know I'm not reading, but talking about the story about Moses and and, and um, good morning, Brother Lee. Good morning. Oh, no. Oh, there you go, Lee. Good morning, Sheila. It's good to see you online. So, uh, Moses had gone into the desert. We talked about the burning bush, and we talked about some of the significance of that, and some of the things that happened. Moses to Pharaoh. So, good morning, Sister Gail and Brother Lewis. Stay with me for just a minute. I guess I'm going to have to just finally go and change internet providers. Uh, Let me see if I can't. Oh, this shouldn't be a big deal, but I'll probably just have to get a different internet provider. I know y'all don't need to do that, but on so Moses in verse 18, I'm going to read. Moses back home, throw father, please let me return to my relatives in Egypt. Moses said, I don't even know if they're still alive. Go in peace, Jethro arrived before Moses left Midian. The Lord said to him, return to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you have died. So Moses took his wife, sons, put on a donkey, and headed back to the land of Egypt. In his hand he carried the staff of God, and the Lord told Moses, when you arrive back in Egypt, go to Pharaoh and perform all the miracles I've empowered you to do. But I will harden his heart so he will refuse to let the people go. And you will tell him, this is what the Lord says, Israel is my firstborn son. I commanded you, let my son go so he can worship me. But since you refused, I will not kill your firstborn son. On the way to Egypt, at a place where Moses and his family had stopped for the night, the Lord confronted him and was about to kill him. But Moses' wife, Zipporah, took a flint knife and circumcised her son. She touched his feet with the foreskin and said, now you are a bridegroom of blood to me. When she said a bridegroom of blood, she was referring to the circumcision. After that, the Lord left him alone. Now the Lord said, Aaron, go in the wilderness and meet Moses. So Aaron went and met Moses at the mountain of God. He embraced him. Moses then told Aaron everything the Lord had commanded him to say, and he told him about the miraculous signs the Lord had to perform in Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron returned to Egypt and called all the elders of Israel together. Aaron told them everything the Lord had told Moses. Moses performed the miraculous signs as they watched, and the people of Israel were convinced that the Lord sent Moses and Aaron. When they heard that the Lord was not seen, they bowed down and worshiped. So Moses had come up with a lot of excuses to not do what God said, but God, with every excuse, God came up with an answer. So Moses went. He told his father-in-law that he needed to go back to his family. I like the way that he did that. He kept everything the way it should have been, and he started for Egypt. On the way, it says the Lord sought to kill him because he had actually disobeyed God in not having his son circumcised. So once his son was circumcised, everything went back and to where everything was good with God. And just like God had said, God talked to Aaron, and he had Aaron meet Moses at that same mountain where Moses had the burning bush. And so they called together all the leaders of the Hebrews, all of the leaders of the Israelites. And Moses did all of the things that he had done, that God told him to do. Moses did all those. He was actually well accepted, and he had already been told that there was a hard person to deal with, and he wasn't going to let them go easily. So as Moses on the way, he's got a lot to think about. When he gets the people of the elders of Israel together, and they see the signs, the miraculous signs that God has given Moses to do, then they're convinced that the Lord had sent Moses and Aaron. And this part right here, when they heard the Lord was concerned about them and seen their misery, they bowed down and worshiped. Now, I just want to say this. This is a short version today. A lot of times, after we go through extended times of challenge, extended times of maybe even persecution, or extended times where it doesn't seem like our prayers are heard, and it doesn't seem like God hears, we need to realize, again by faith, that God hears prayer that you pray. He's concerned about everything that happens in your life. So I just want to encourage you, if you've been going through a time where things are difficult or challenging, and it seems like it's lasted a long time, then I just want to encourage you that God does hear your prayers. God is concerned. God will take action at the time that it needs. So this morning, as spend time with God, and as you're persistent in spending time with God, as you're persistent in your walk with Christ, as you're persistent in your prayers, as you continue, you're going to see God do great things to keep you from harm's way. You're going to see God do great things to provide for you. You're going to see God do great things to keep you on the path that He has set your feet on. And I'm not the one to say what that is. God calls each one of us in a little bit different way. I know everybody thinks that, but over the years, I've found that if we were all exactly the same, it'd be too cookie cutter and people just wouldn't listen. But there are people of all walks of life that are being called into different styles of ministry with the same message. So uh, this morning, as we want to continue to love how much we love him so he can continue to keep us, lead us, guide us, and bless us. And we ask it, and God is going to continue to keep us on task. God kept Moses on task. I'm going to talk about it some more Thursday morning and probably Friday morning, and I'll wind up with Moses. But there's so much to talk about with this particular story of this man, Moses. There are a few people in the Bible that last longer than a couple of chapters. Moses is one of those people. So just be encouraged. God hears your prayers. At the right time, he will act. I'm convinced of that with all my heart. So this morning, be blessed. I thank you for joining me. And with all of the technical issues and difficulties, I just have to understand all. I have the stuff that's supposed to work the best. However, as you can see over the last month or so, it's not necessarily so. So I'll continue to take steps to try to get this technical stuff correct. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you joining me every morning. Keep the faith.